peace, and love. Greetings. Hey, now I see what PB. Okay, give honor to source. I be see what PB yelling about now, bro. About these little new model cameras. This is I really look like this. I really look like this in person. No, I'm just kidding. But in my energy, I'm a whole vibe. I'm the vibe. Wait, okay. Anywho, give honor to source, the creator, just everything, ancestors, known and unknown. This is another video. Previous video. Well, no. Let it flow. I got so many notes, man. Okay, I got so many notes, and it's like, oh my goodness. A wise man once said, "High tides move all boats." Let me say that again. High tides move all boats. That being said, happy full moon in Cancer, in Capri, I like to say. But that in another sense, man. It's wolf moon too. There's so many things going on. Just sending y'all abundance of love and light. It's so funny now. I want to get this message out my throat. Yeah, throat chakra. Let me get. We getting this out. So that being said, oh yeah, here we go. I just love this now because I realize how much, and I know a lot of what I express and what I came here to do. I hear the birds. I say, is that we come into this awareness and knowingness of what our soul is guided and what we are here to do. And so when we see most of what I've accepted, that learning and not seeing the past or the darkness as a place of no longer seeing it as a place of refuge, or as I've healed and learned what it is to heal and still healing, or acceptance of that, is that no longer seeing that darkness as from a lens of victimization, or now it's like walking in victory, and that's a part of it, acceptance of the light as well, and becoming more at ease with that. And I would say that with a lot of us that's probably going through our journeys and what we're seeing, that nothing is ever going to be the same. Nothing ever is going to be the same when we are, even when we going through something, just getting through our day, or just trying to get through our routines and whatever it is, and unlearning the programming of what this whole human experience is, and or what this whole thing, what man has told us what life is and what it's supposed to be and how it's supposed to be. And this is why you're seeing so much of like, it seems like chaos and disruption, or so many things are dismantling, because it was never meant to go. It serves its purpose. It was never meant to just continue this way. Like, why would humanity or people want to stay in the dark? And some people want that, you know, that of, just being in the dark and standing in the dark, of course, to get away and to continue their, manipulative or malicious, and, or just ill intent. And see, this is why, again, the light as well as the dark both serves their purpose. This is why balance and everything is being restored within the universe, within the world. And this is why it's happening within us and collectively. That being said, I'm just so grateful to be at peace and acknowledge those demons and acknowledge, those angels, or seeing the waging war within myself, um, as a man, or in the sense of, as energy, realizing that, again, this isn't like a physical fight. This isn't a physical thing that we're really fighting here. This is a spiritual warfare, in a sense, or this is has something to do more collectively as a whole. Um, that so much has been hidden and now being acknowledged. Um, Seeing more of the mental warfare, the psychological warfare that humanity has been like, it's like a spell as there have been upon, been under. And so this is why a lot of us now are coming to that deeper awareness of ourselves. To I got more into depth about my deep awareness of why I am confident in speaking and being unapologetically honoring that, no longer want to hide, these things that I speak of. Um, that's why so much of what has in society is to keep people, humanity, or so many things to keep people in place, keep them this way, keep everything this way. So, this people can get this and this people can get this, or whomever, or whatever it is. And truly, there is no greater power than source. And see, that's the illusion that has been given. And this is why you'll see how much of the wickedness and a lot of stuff is going to be uh, on the forefront now, because the light is here. And again, this has a lot to do with us acknowledging our inner child and returning to the light within us. We are a part of this one body. We all are a part of this experience, and everyone's not going to see it that way. And that's okay. Um, I'm not accountable for anyone's emotions. I'm not accountable for any of that. It's more of, we're coming into this new age and this new way of taking care of ourselves and nurturing ourselves, our well-being. And this is why a lot of the shifts that are happening, we're seeing so much of really how wicked certain things have been, how much people are really crying out for help. And it's not just for physical, it's like they're mentally, because of also they have suffered through, taking on this psychological, this thing, this. I had another camera that I videotape on, and actually I'll just speak about it now. It's like, I'll share more about like how I love speaking about me becoming at peace with what has happened in the past and what has happened for me, for my greater good. And see, that's walking in victory. Is that some of us, again, you are going to experience things to be at a place where spirit is going to elevate you and things are going to no longer resonate, whether it be family, friends, or whatever it is. And that's because you are elevating mentally, spiritually, and you're going places a lot of people are not going. It's not personal. I always tell people it's never personal, it's vibrational. And that, again, it's about energy. And this is what we're becoming more in tune with. And as we become more in tune with these things, we become more in tune with nature, with earth, with ourselves. And that being said, I realize how much of what we don't acknowledge with spirits, like, no, speak about this. So much of people, or I say myself, growing up and seeing how much of the psychological warfare, spiritual warfare that I was just even from the birthing of coming into this world, coming through my mother, coming in this world, and again, it's like a baby, like, you know how you open your eyes for the first time and you're like, wow, okay, what is this? Why am I here? What am I here to do? You get that? It's like you're opening your eyes, and even to this awareness now within yourself, you're coming aware of something again. It's like the dying of the old self, and then coming into your higher self. You're elevating into the awareness of like, wow, this is all new again. Every day or every moment, you change and renew your mind. Again, being growing up, being just seeing so much of abusive relationships, or this display of what, again, through my lens, what I perceive love as. And this is what a lot of things that, again, that spirit calls it, like karmic debt or whatever you want to call that, is a part of our journey here. And I was becoming more aware of that, is that we're clearing a part of, well, let me get to this part. When I, growing up, again, I saw a lot of, which I know is connected to the matriarch, and I realized why a lot of what I'm here to do is to help heal and bring awareness to the healing of the divine feminine um, aspect of myself, which is connected to the matriarchal. Divine feminine, divine masculine is one and the same, but the energy of the divine feminine is that of the darkness, the roots, the things that connect us, spiritually. So that being said, um, this is why I realized my upbringing or my journey was so focused at the moment in my childhood, was so much of the agonizing and pain of what I endured as, again, a man, or whatever it is, to and experience the pain and the hardship of, at that moment, what I felt was done to me, from women, or from women, in a sense. There was so much, again, that was traumatized or uh, embedded in my DNA for me to see at a young age, see how and why, then why it is a man would have this power within himself to feel like he needed to harm a woman to make her feel less. Growing up in certain homes, one of the homes that is just always one of the homes I realized that were really, I guess it's just so much happened there, especially like my elementary days, around the age of like 5, 6, 7. And again, the more we become in tune, and the more I sit with myself and become more of my own, aware of my own darkness, and within myself, or acknowledging in these things, I see how let's say, even to how, like, let's see, the relationship that my mother had with the man she was with, and how long the duration of how confusing and dysfunctional the relationship was. Um, as a child, seeing certain things through your lens is like, when, and this has a lot to do with a lot of ancestral healing and burdens that has been passed on through trauma, is that when we're seeing our mothers or fathers or people being hurt, it hurts us. And see, that's a part of um, what I've noticed displayed on throughout the world. It's like, it's this man versus woman, or this power struggle, either in the home or within self, this waging war, this push of violence, this push of harming others, this push of hurt people, people just, it's just this this darkness, this cloud, in a sense of, wickedness that just has been happening. But it's in the sense of like, again, my childhood, me seeing, this is to bring more awareness to our mothers and women, or those that are in relationships, or becoming more aware of what young men, or men, melanin men per se, or men of different shades, you know, different tones or whatever. Me per se, what I've experienced, this has helped you to get more of an understanding and an overstanding, so we can, mend things, or, get a way of seeing why it is our behaviors are portrayed and why we project certain things. That being said, because it's not so much of what we look like, it's so much of what we came here to do. Because a part of what we look like is ego, in a sense of keeping us from really seeing the inner light, or the love within ourselves. Because when we all close our eyes, it's dark. But that, in a sense of growing up, I saw, again, um, I grew up in homes where certain things I didn't want to see, but I had to. Seeing people that were choose drugs over their children, or drugs being their first thing to of acceptance or fulfillment. That being said, so a lot of friendships that I had, and I realized within myself how much of a light that was already within me, or the love that, again, I was given prior to arriving. And some of us know this, like, that there's a love when you start to love yourself that cannot be measured, that is unmeasurable. So I realize that a lot of us that, again, are coming to this awareness, you are at a higher frequency or higher vibration, you have a higher awareness of than your parents, than your family, than your friends, or whatever. That being said, is that, I asked myself growing up, why do you want me to experience this? Why do I have to experience this? Questioning myself, questioning my sexuality, questioning what it is I'm here to do, everything. So, me seeing a man, again, I realized that the man that was present was abusive. And then again, that same pain will be projected onto the kids, the mothers. I mean, from my mother. And then that same self hatred, or that, not acknowledging the light and love within herself, she would use that to project onto myself and other kids. This is not to make anyone out to be, you know, evil, or whatever you want to call it. It's just a disconnect of self, and I realized that um, me having to, even moments where I saw early, where another guy I went to school with, you know, in elementary school, I seen how their family would, again, use drugs, or his mom was out on the streets. And then I'm seeing again, like, how this was not only affecting me, but him. And then how we would fight a lot. And I didn't really know to the depths till now why it was, because a lot of us, again, that grows up in certain environments, the parents or whatever they experience, their programming and who they are not of divine love, or of love in itself. And so we now know, or coming to the awareness, we are the guiding light, not only for ourselves, but we are the guiding light for a lot of them. Being at certain age, I had to grow up early. I had to be a parent. I had to parent myself early. And see, that's a part of growing up in that survival instinct and, needing to survive and meaning to like accept things like breadcrumbing, do things, to basically to survive this world, however that comes and however that is. And see, this is through our experiences. Having to watch kids. I remember like I was like 5, 6, or 7, one of those ages to where I knew what it was to take care of me. And I realized I was put in this place to where I had 3 younger kids younger than me that was in diapers. That again, the mother that I came through and the woman that she would go out with, the same woman that again that will touch me in ways that I, as a child, thought that was accepting. I thought that that was like, oh, this is just a lady that is she's just my mother friend. And again, a lot of us have accepted things because if our mother or father being there, we've accepted things to where it's okay, but in a sense, it doesn't sit right with our spirit, even having the awareness, even when you're a child. So that being said, they would go out a lot and I would be there with the kids, again, just to be there. Just my presence, again, with those kids, not knowing what to do, and, not knowing when they will return. So a lot of these things that will happen then, I realized I'm like, yo, why am I experiencing this at such a young age? Um, Having to, it's like being a laughing stock of the neighborhood or the family, or in that sense, because the guy that was with my mom, his dad lived like an apartment over, and the lady that he would talk to, she was in a sense, she was I was friends with her son, 2 sons. It's so funny because they both of the men beat on women, and so you can hear like the cries, you can hear a lot of stuff, and I'm like, yo, what? Why is this happening? Why are men? And I had this awareness young, like, why? I had this heart always to help, to give, to be of service, and again, we don't realize this is programming we are picking up on. We are receiving these things. It's like psychological warfare being told, hey, sit your da 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 ass down, da 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 this, you're not gonna da 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 da, then turn around and someone tell you that they love you. And see, people love to use the term narcissistic, but it's not even a titles, because a lot of stuff we saw younger has everything to do with programming, survival, fear, selfish attachments. And see, a lot of the relationships that I would see would be all, you can use the term off and on for so long, through years and cycles, that I was like, yo, when is this going to end? I saw all my sisters that, that again, I know, even though they don't talk about it now. And this is why I always speak about the matriarchal, even though the sisters that I grew up with, that at growing up really wanted nothing to do with the mother that I came through, because of the fact that they felt it was favoritism towards me, but in a sense it was more of me as a young man, or as the love that I have within myself, wanting to be there to protect the woman. That again, this is why a lot of us are seeing so much of the healing that's happening, and seeing how much of the burdens that our parents and then that has been passed through generations, the traumas, the psychological warfare So many things that have been passed through the womb and through generations. And see, a lot of which, what was, projected onto them, I will also be in the defense for my sisters, but also be in the defense for the mother, because, and see, that alone right there is breeding confusion. I don't care what book you read, what religion, or none of that stuff. What we're seeing now, a lot of this stuff has nothing to do with inner healing. It's all connected. It all plays its part. But a lot of this stuff it has nothing spiritually. It has a lot of this stuff has to do with DNA. Has to do with a lot of what self accountability. A lot of these books are not going to teach. These old books. A lot of stuff has had its purpose. That illusion of, okay, going to church or going to these places. But this one person up there is not going to tell you what it is to love yourself, what it is to acknowledge, the inner demons, or, the things that, this spiritual warfare that it speaks about in these books. But again, this person is here, or this person is here. We're being taught to glorify, idolize these people, or, these external things. But what about glorifying the love within ourselves? What about learning to acknowledging what is happening, and point out the things that's happening in these fucking homes, and these things that are happening with these kids, and seeing how the psychologically what has been passed down, through humanity, through social media. Not realizing the things that we watch and these things that we do, again, it's part of programming. It's not to say everyone's gonna be on one accord, but a lot of which I see, what I've witnessed, and what you see a lot of men that maybe per se look like me, or maybe they don't look like me, but a lot of our men and women. But when I speak about the men and I learn to honor the feminine within myself, is that honoring that feminine is an aspect of being connected to all women, being connected to all things feminine. That darkness. And see, that which connects me to the darkness of who I am, the roots of who I am, that is the mother, the matriarchal, the things that I come through. And see, that me acknowledging that allows me to heal within myself. It has nothing to do with me being a woman. It's showing me that I am not separate from the woman, because I came through her womb. And then naturally being a being of love, and and compassion, and learning these things, I realize that what I've experienced is not what I want to continue. It's not what I myself, a lot of us know, being who we are now, is not what we wish to continue into the generations to come. This is why the light is important. It's represented by the masculine to bring awareness, to bring conclusion, to be logical about things. Growing up I didn't know why so much it felt like I was attacked at a young age, because I realize now a lot of stuff was to try to keep. This is why we're elected, in spirit has put things within us, things that were sent, that was trying to destroy us since we got here. Those of you that know, things that were sent to just try to take you out of here. Those same, that spiritual warfare, those, these things that we don't even realize that were, again, that has been following since from eons and generations and years, that have been following certain families to keep them in that place of darkness. That they're so trying to inch out and crawl out, and then they're being pulled in and lured in through certain things. And see, this is why now the beauty of what I've experienced, and now why it is that um, I share these things with you all, because this is a part of this is the legacy I choose, that was with that I choose to leave, that's going to ripple forever. This is the legacy, a legacy that's on healing, on loving ourselves, on a foundation of truth, on a foundation of, being self-sufficient, no longer living in survival. And a lot of our mothers and fathers um, aren't fulfilled. They haven't fulfilled their purpose. And see, this is why I took note of this. Is like they're living in the shadows of others. And the shadow being the darkness of others. They don't know what it is. Some of them don't know what it is to see that there's certain things that are unfulfilled. They're seeking certain things externally. This is why a lot of us come into this awareness now. Fulfillment is an inside job. Love is an inside thing. All these things are within us. The universe is within us. Nothing can fulfill us externally without first being fulfilled here. This is fulfillment inside. Love is an inside. Our heart is an inside. Our organs and a lot of stuff is an inside. And so, I also share this with you, to the mothers that's feeling abandoned. Um, Inside, you no longer have to feel that abandonment. We're releasing all those old things. No one truly has abandoned us. We had to realize what abandonment was, so we come to this awareness of that. We will no longer abandon the light within us. We will no longer abandon the inner child within us. And so when the mothers and the matriarchal, and when we become more aware of these things, especially our mothers and the children, when you heal, a lot of what you feel as mothers is that your children feel. This is why a lot of us, again, what has happened has it's nothing wrong with you moving, having to return, spirit guiding you to your mothers, or guiding you to, to be caretakers for your mothers, or doing certain things, because a lot of which you're experiencing, you're feeling, is not really your burdens. It's what your mother or the grandmother, a lot of stuff that has been carrying these burdens. And see, this clash, or what you've experiencing, or what a lot of us are experiencing, is not really a clash with them. It's a thing that we, again, they project onto us, or we project, and then we become more aware that it's not them, it's us. And meaning, it's not in a sense of being a victim, is that they don't know what it is to be a victor, to walk in victory. They don't know what it is to be a leader. And this is a part of being unfulfilled. They don't know what it is to be that, because they didn't have that example. They didn't have that a system, again, that was on a belief system that has other people, this illusion of people in power that are pretty much telling them how to live and what to do and all these things. There's no fulfillment in those things. These presidents, these so-called illusion of these so-called leaders and these celebrities or whomever it is, they're not guiding you back to yourself. That's not even a part of their programming. That's not who they. No, they too have been programmed. That's why you see a lot of It's so interesting that Pac or certain people, they a lot. You can see a lot of people that were waging war. A part of them was they were in the dark, but then again, a lot of them would bring light to a lot of stuff, because a lot of what they were experiencing was within themselves. That's why you see a lot of men, again, a lot of us are seeking, a lot of us are coming, the trauma that we've experienced, and then again, going back to certain people you see in the world, they don't know what it is to walk in your path, to walk your path, to walk this journey. Um, if a world has been, just going back to the motherhood, if a world has been telling you, you know, just be a mother, get pregnant, go out there and promote sex, do these things and not honor the fact of like energy exchange and STDs or whatever it is, and teach you all these different programmings, and then boom, now I see a lot of women, and which again is to bring awareness to. This is not to target anyone because I see a lot of it. Is that have kids or coming out of a marriage or have kids by different men or whatever it is, and in that sense again we have to ask yourself, what were you seeking? Okay, and then what is this pattern, what is this loop, or who has taught me to live this way? And then even to this awareness now, you're seeing a lot of our women coming into this awareness of um, why this had to happen, in a sense of karmically, but in a sense of now you see the awareness to bring healing to yourself, because again, what you feel, and then that being that came through your womb, your healing, you healing is a part of their healing, because spiritually they're connected to that, again, that family tree, or that connection. A lot of now you're seeing women coming to this awareness of wanting to connect. When they reconnect with themselves, they're learning to reconnect and wanting to help other women as well as men too. But you're going to see that a lot of what the healing through the matriarchal is going to bring women from everywhere, because now they're seeing the light within themselves, and then how it plays a part in their daughters, experience here, to their sons, um, even to the fact Spirit was telling me how a lot of stuff that wasn't acknowledged, a lot of mothers that whether they didn't grow up without a father, or whether how what I've been seeing in my visions is how you know in my connections, when I became more aware, I would say this to some women. I was like, look, I love you. I didn't come to harm you. I'm not going to hurt you. I didn't come to, because I know kids will see this, but man, a lot of them are in the awareness now. Like, I didn't come to just have sex with you. I didn't come to do these things to take advantage of you, or to do these things. And see, a lot of that has to do with the acknowledgement of why we are experiencing what it is to, when we heal ourselves, we no longer want to continue that place of wanting to hurt others, especially seeing the awareness in the matriarchal, and seeing how what I do and how it affects not just myself but affects everyone. And so, and then even when I express this to whatever woman or that I'm connected to, it's in a sense whatever subconsciously she has experienced with men, when she see a masculine figure or whatever it is, a man, subconsciously she may not be aware that it's connected to the patriarchal or the masculine aspect of who she is, but unconsciously, until she becomes consciously aware that it's in a sense connected to that, the fatherhood, the grandfather. And see, this is why a lot of we're coming into more of a deep awareness on how we're all connected in this. And so, like, to my mothers, let me tell you this. Release that burden of the fact that you have to be consumed by what the world has told you what motherhood is. Even to the fathers, this whole illusion of, because see what this does for the mothers is that you're going to see what's happening is that the more you're letting go of the old. This is why the system, the so-called child support system, or the system on these paradigms that were created in a place of just greed and control, and to keep people in a dark place. These systems that to keep men, bind. certain things. Again, women, you're not realizing a lot of stuff is to keep that were in place to keep you men buying to certain things. Even how you use your womb or your yoni, or what we call the vagina. It's to it was never spiritually intended to be used to control men or to bind them. And see, this is the awareness of the healing that's taking place, the old and then coming into the new. This is why a lot of we're seeing women are healing from the womb, the molestations, the traumas that have happened through years. And see, by you again, when we come into connection with someone, um, and we're sexual energy exchange, and then the intentions are not set to be co-creating with someone for that purpose to bring life into this world, and it's just being a casual thing, that no longer is going to exist, because a lot of, and see, that's a part of the Taurus and North Node, and the Scorpio and South, and yeah, South Node, because a part of your healing is a part of everyone's healing collectively. That of the matriarchal, you healing your womb, and that's why again we're seeing how a lot of these things have been passed down through generations, certain behaviors, certain programmings of how you should be a woman, or how you should portray yourself, everything to keep you away from your naturalness, the beauty of who you are inside, which again has really nothing to do with externally. This is just the vessel you've been given. How everybody has to be a certain size or look a certain way, and portray themselves as this, and cover up all these whatever it is, when really it has nothing to do with what why you should love yourself. It's like, what are you teaching your daughter? What are you teaching your kids? Are you teaching them to love themselves, and more of themselves internally rather than what they look like externally? People are giving their vessels. Certain things they're given. And then the world is, again, you see on the world stage, oh, this person, something's wrong or something. No. If that person, again, has a light within them or soul, it's nothing the matter with them. They were created where they are purposefully. This is why we're returning to love ourselves and to see the light within ourselves, and see that whole illusion of what motherhood is, and all that bullshit, man. It's messed up. It really is. Like, to see again, our mothers. A lot of people, they just, you deserve the better. You deserve much more. Much more. We need you to see the light within yourself. We need you to know what it is to love yourself. Not every man. We need you to know what it is to let go of survival, so people can come in the vision I was having, man. I was like, wow, you're going to see that a lot of more focus on people loving and taking accountability for themselves and loving themselves. And so you're going to see why certain people are coming up and sharing these things about spirituality, or sharing these things about what it is to love yourself and love on yourself. And I know what you've experienced with men. You know what I'm saying? I know what you've experienced, but that cycle, that loop doesn't have to continue. It stops with you. I know what it is. I come from a mother. I see it. I know what it is for my grandmother. I see it. My sisters, I see it. I see the spiritual warfare of people. I had the experience. I see what it is that people are fighting daily. This psychological warfare, this mental warfare of just wanting to be at peace with what they're experiencing. And then you know what it is, learning to be with yourself. Ah. Letting go of this selfish attachments, of this idea of what you think all men are. And then trying to not realizing that you're unconsciously programming that into your son, making him, in a sense, like this spirit say lover, but in a sense of like not intimately, but in a sense of like this selfless attachment, like you wanting to, through your subconscious programming, you wanting to keep him around because you don't want him to be like the men that you've experienced, or like the fathers that you've experienced, or like anything that reminded you of all men that you've experienced. And see that right there, again, you don't realize that it has nothing to do with genuine love, because genuine love knows that it cannot hold on to anything, because that son, that young man that will grow into a war, to, I'll say warrior, but really to, a man that who he's here to be, it will help him grow into who he's supposed to be. Without that projection of what you've experienced, we no longer decree and declare, no, we rebuke that, we release that. We release that entity, that that attachment, that dark, spirit that wants to attach to you so you can continue these cycles. No, we release that. I send you light and love to the mothers, no matter what culture, creed, whatever you come from. And then this is from a man that had to learn that, so he can know what it is, what true security within self is, loving himself is, so he don't have to go out here and realize that, because the mother, you becoming aware that you don't have to, this will create resentment. This is why you're seeing this displayed, and a lot of people are coming to this awareness. And some people don't want to fight don't want to acknowledge their darkness or their inner demons, because they don't realize that they've created this. Listening to others, they've created this narrative, and they're accountable for it. You got to learn. It's like that when you see a tribe of a lion and you see the lioness. Everybody wants to call themselves a queen or, all this other shit. But let me tell you something. When you see a lioness, she does everything to protect the cubs. And when you see a tribe, you may see a lion. Then you may see another lion, depending on how the tribe is. This is like the soul tribe. When you see a lioness, she does everything to protect her cubs. But she also is in synchronicity or connected to other lionesses. And they do everything to protect the cubs. They're not fighting amongst each other. You don't see a tree fighting itself. You don't see trees. That's why nature is so important. You don't see things fighting amongst themselves. Who taught you that? That's programming. Who showed you that way? Who gave you? This is the thing you got to realize psychologically. Who have given you these ways? Man have given you these ways and led you astray, only for you to return to yourself. And then you come to the awareness that you can't save everyone else. No, you're here to share what you're here to do. You want to be something, see the light within yourself. Have the courage of a lioness. To my men, have the courage and the fire of a lion. Or you see certain things in the jungle, certain, attributes or certain things you see in nature that is displayed the way it is. For purpose. A lot of stuff happens naturally. We're all a part of this cycle of life. Let me see. Fear. And this is a lot of what's happening, is that we're releasing that old bullshit, that releasing fear. That's what it is. And everyone, the ones that are coming in tune with themselves, you're seeing the love that is forever flowing within yourself. That has always been there. A lot of what you're seeing people out here doing is a part of the disconnect to their inner essence, to their inner child. It's there. It's the fear. It's the illusions that you've been given. You're giving yourself. It's the doubt no longer that you will give yourself. Why do you keep doubting yourself to love yourself? It don't come with a manual. Just take one step. Go into the mirror and say, I love myself. It's okay to cry. It's okay to honor your emotions as men, as women. All these things you're unlearning for a purpose as young women, wherever your age is as young men. You're unlearning these ways. I know you have to parent yourself. I know you're going through things. I know you're questioning the system. Now you're trying to create your own way of living. Man. And that goes back to like, you're seeing these old, these corporations, this system just falling apart on the fatherhood, motherhood, and all these. That's the divine feminine and divine masculine in one. It's the one and the same. See, this division and this illusion of keeping people separated is a part of, the fear that's being displayed through the news, through the media, and all this crap. And I'm telling you, yo, this whole concept of the financial thing and all these things of how do you not see the confusion and the deception on how a man should be a father, on how a mother should be a mother, on how a child should be a child, on how people just giving their children away to people that do not care? They are living off what demon time in a way, or just darkness. They're wicked. They care nothing about you. No one cares nothing about you until you care about you. No one's going to love you until you love you. No one's coming to save you until you realize you have to save yourself. No one's going to respect you until you know what it is to respect yourself. No one's going to know what it is for you to stand on your power until you, your own universe. You are your own fucking universe. You, your own universe. You can't, no one can dim this light. No one would dim my light. That's what I came here for. And the truth is, I'm willing to die for it. And in a sense, dying ain't something I'm afraid of. And it ain't nothing to be afraid of. That's when you start living. You start loving what you do with a passion. That's that fire. You start having fun. People want to be liberated. They want to know what it is to be sovereign. Your soul, your purpose here, your birthright is sovereignty. This is what our ancestors spoke about. It's who you are. You are trillions of cells. You don't even know the number of hairs on you. You are created from stardust. You are sent here purposely. You are loved by something that you don't see with your natural eye. You are protected by something that you don't see with your natural eye. You are guided by things that you don't see with your natural eye. But yet you still know that you're here for a purpose. You know it's something within you, no matter how dark, how wicked the world becomes. You know that it's something within you, that you're here for a reason. And you are here for a reason. All of you. We are recreating something that is magnificent, that is so divine. It's already happening. And it's so beautiful, man. You will want your generations after you to live, to you know what? No, let me say this. Yes. Our relationship, I know this. Our generations after me, every generations after me shall live in bliss, harmony, abundant, infinite stability, um, and love. They shall know what it is to live in harmony amongst other beings. To they shall have wealth in spirit, physically, a clear mind, live in alignment with source. They will no longer be bound to anything that keeps them from their higher purpose here. And therefore, and that comes after. And so it is, and so be it. I say, as above, so below. And so it is. We have to speak these things. These are energies, and it comes back to us. Some of us know you are the one that it stops with. But it also, not only where it ends, it begins with you. That's what you need to realize. Okay? Okay. Okay. See, this is why you'll realize why your journey has been the way it is. No longer will molestation continue in your family. No longer will these dark entities or, spirit of manipulation, deception, and ill intent follow your family no more. Your generation. Banish it. Remove it. No longer. Because you are the guiding light. You are the light. You are the light for this moment now. Forever and ever. That's what people fear, that they fear the light, because the light will shine bright on it will shatter all of their illusions of what this experience is supposed to be. But you want better for yourself and your children. That's what you're rebelling for. That's what the Phoenix is. You want better not only for you, but for yourself. That's your birthright. So that means leaving behind whatever it is to go live a life in alignment with that's in alignment of love, peace, harmony, abundance, prosperity. Yes, living a life, if it's luxury or whatever it is, but still being aware that, again, the awareness of all of this genuine love, that which aligns us with source, is that genuine love knows, that God and light knows that I'm here to experience this to the fullness, to the abundance. See, that is letting go of the old way of thinking. See, this is a mental warfare of being, the old way, letting that go and walking into a life that, abundance to some is a life living in nature, on an island, being near water, having fresh fruit, whether it be, whether you want to have technology or not, or living a life, off the grid, or, living a life in an RV, living, and still doing what you're here to do. Because your vibration, again, is playing a part wherever you do, wherever you are, is still is a purpose in elevating, and cleansing and helping the elevation of, Gaia, or, Earth. Because again, she is alive. Those that know, we do. The world, the earth, you see the water, you see the animals and everything else. It's a living organism. It's now is a moment for us to honor. When we respect and honor and love ourselves and do these things, it's the same thing. We're gonna see that outwardly. We're gonna go to places where, again, we see like, okay, why Spirit is gonna call us to travel and see why certain places are more vibrant. It's not just what we see here in the illusion of what the Americas is or what this place is. There's other stuff outside of this. You gotta just know what it is. Now we're disconnecting from social media. certain things. Because again, a lot of people are being drawn there because they only can think and do there, but not realizing, again, reconnect and learn what it is to be neutral, to balance yourself in nature, to see, okay, this is changing. Okay, so am I. So, okay, life, living an abundant life, living a prosperous life, it's not having everything to do, high vibration. It has nothing to do with, in the sense of money. Or material stuff. A lot of this stuff is not even gonna. It's gonna be so much of it. It's been so much of it created, and you seeing this like this things are changing. This war with technology. You're realizing like it has its purpose, but at the same moment, let us not forget about the fact of our emotional intelligence, our inner guidance. You know, loving ourselves. I don't know how this scripture just popped up. It says, "Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that will exalt you." Ashe. But just in the sense of, to those that know, when you're coming more aware and in tune, that this is not a physical thing, in the sense of physical fight. To some people perceive it that way, but let me tell you, nature is where it's at. I'm gonna tell you that all the time. I love it. Traveling or just being in a place near water, being on the island, just connecting more with yourself and source. And I can see why a lot of why I travel or love being in beautiful places around beautiful people, or just that frequency of love, seeing things that are vibrant. And that's why a lot of us now are going through a shift, and realizing the more we become in tune, we're going to want to shift our way of living. And because a lot of things are gonna, natural disasters, a lot of stuff is going to happen because of the cleansing that's happened inwardly and going to happen outwardly. And so we're being spirit led or guided by source, off our inner guidance. And so yeah, listen to your intuition. If you're being called to do something, do it. Just again, focus your energy on what you focus on grows. Like your energy towards loving, meditation. A lot of stuff is changing. Breathing, um, just living more of a life that's in alignment with what your soul is here to do. And yeah, because man, let me tell you, it's amazing. I'm grateful. Um, yeah, keep shining bright, keep loving yourself. Oh man, that's all I got for y'all in these moments, and if I gotta share more, I will. Um, yeah, celebrate, man. Celebrate these changing, the coming of a new. Also celebrate the old too as well. Like it serves its purpose. Acknowledge. As I was walking the other day, I was giving gratitude to all relationships I've had. Whatever I said on this YouTube, I tell people never take it personal. It's never personal. Because we're all going through something. We're all experiencing something. So sometimes we just need to take a step back and breathe. Then even as where we're at now in this winter solstice, here you're being called to rest. Sit your ass down. Rest. Realize that there's a shift happening. Nothing is going to ever be the same. Okay? Nothing. So stop fighting yourself. Stop fighting the divine. Surrender to the divine by breathing, just being. And I know it may sound a little cliche to some, but look, when you're guided by spirit and you start to reconnect with yourself, there will be others that will align and come, that will show up. As soon as you think something is not going to pan out, if you know where you are now, has source spirit has failed you? No, not once. As your spirit guides, or whatever you do, whatever path you're on, whatever you believe in, or whatever, you're still here for something. Whether you want to serve the love, the light, or whether, I don't know, that ain't, but we are the light is the powers that be now, the healers. Rise into, all that shit they say you weird. Keep doing you. Keep letting your light shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. And then you'll realize, it's so fun. You'll realize that, man, it's gonna be so beautiful to why you had to journey to where you are. Those that are going through your journey, you'll see why it is that you experience what you've experienced and become more aware. Don't rush. Remember the turtle. It's not a rush. Some people you will see in this world, as you will see, some people are rushing to their death, to their physical death. They're in a rush to go nowhere. Where you going so fast? Greatness is within you. It's not really obtained. It's already within you. A lot of this stuff is already within you. It's going to happen gradually. It's going to happen in divine order when spirit allows you to come to this awareness. You're going, aha, oh, got it. And a wise man once told me, he said, the greatest knowledge on earth is knowledge of self. The more we become more self-aware and seeing how we're all connected in this, the more we realize we'll see our role in this, our role in what it is we're here to do. Alrighty? I love you. Appreciate you. And I always want to say this. Love life on purpose. When you start living, forgiveness, forgive yourself, keep on moving, never give up. Love yourself like never before. Love all of you, flaws and all. There is no flaws inside. Love everything inwardly. Love telling just be you. Man, what's that? Anywho, rest, and because we're rest, because that's loving yourself. Choosing you is always loving yourself. Choosing to honor, yourself. Your emotions, your being, your light, and just everything. Peace and blessings. Shalom. Y'all take care of yourself. And yeah, take care.